Happy Valentine's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Latino World Order, episode 43 of the Access to Combat podcast. I am one half of your host, Hugo the Boss. Hugo got next, joined by my co-host.
It's your boy Rayo from the AO, Boogie Kahuna. How you doing, my brother?
Well, you forgot to mention that LWO in there too, baby. LWO, Latino World Order Wrestling. You feel me? But before we get into any of that hoopla, you already know, guys. Like, comment, follow, subscribe, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody watching the visuals right now and enjoying them on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. And before we jump into this UFC 298 card, we're going to recap some of our bets from last weekend. We had positive weekends, which is good, between boxing and MMA. We had, we'll start with the MMA side. I had Griffin's money line. Rodriguez is inside the distance. Dan Ike's money line. All gave me a 0.8 positive. Some of the losses I had, though, Petrosian's money line. That one, I play it again. I think he just had a little bit of a bad night at the office. Flowers money line. Would not play that again. And then Piper's knockout via rounds 1 through 3. I thought it was a solid bet for the line that we got it at. As we said in the podcast, good chance Hernandez was going to win that fight, which he did. Took the shot, played value. It is what it is. Some of the long shots we got: Prates sub, Johnson Flowers fight ends in sub, Rodriguez knockout round 2, which we should have played round 3 as well, and then Rodriguez sub plus 900. Lost minimal money, ended up with a positive night, so we're good money. But before we jump into boxing, what do your bets look like for that weekend for MMA, brother?
Well, for MMA, finished negative 0.1. Close to the finish line and the positive stat, but an L's an L, gotta hold it. Let's kick it off with getting saved by, I guess, the low blow. Richie Lang looking for the way out.
Get the fuck out of here. Hit
that Griffin money line. Hit that Rodriguez inside the distance. And biggest bet, Ige money line. Made it look super easy. Let's see some L's I got here. Big 2-unit play on Petrosian. Lesson learned there. I'd play it again probably, but And then Flowers money line. Like my brother, will not be playing that again. Piper, 1 through 3 KO. Clapped up. Some of the long shots here. I had Prates sub, Petrosian KO round 2 and 3. Johnson Flowers fight ends in sub. I think that was a good shot, but didn't hit. Then we have Rodriguez KO round 2. Didn't play the round 3. Dumbass. And Rodriguez sub. Overall, close but no cigar for me.
Well, in boxing you did, and I'll go over those very quickly because we have minimal bets. I'll cover both of us. We both had Teofimo Lopez by decision. We hit that. That was easy bet.
Payday. You want payday.
Minus 112 line, which is great. Terrible fight, by the way.
Dog shit fight.
Dog shit. And then I had Keyshawn Davis via decision, and my brother had Keyshawn Davis via knockout. My brother was right. So my brother finished, 2 units up, essentially. I finished about close to a unit up, which is good. Positive weekend for both of us. We move on, and we're going to carry. Cold streak is over, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's nice and cold over here, but it's not nice and cold in these pockets anymore. And we should have released our Super Bowl bets, too, because we killed there, too. So we apologize for that. Like, I talked to, my brother, and we were like, shit, we should have dropped that for you guys because we had some good spots, some good positive money, and we made some, bets on that. So we'll take it. We don't count it to the official MMA record, but it's for your benefit and, for you guys to make some money too,
Some extracurricular bets, I was rooting for the 49ers, so I bet the Chiefs. Because that's the way my football bets be going. And voila, you can't stop the script. Swifties won.
Kelsey won.
Mahomes won.
And now we jump into this UFC 298 card, which is a little top heavy. This card, but I will say there's some fun fights in the bottom of this card from some unknowns. And then the main card is pretty amazing. So what do you got for me, brother?
UFC 296? No, 298. Anaheim, California. Curtain jerker. We're going to start off with Andrea KGB Lee going one-on-one with Fear the Maverick. Miranda Maverick. KGB, 13-8, hailing from the U.S., fighting out of Louisiana, 35 years old. Going one-on-one with Miranda Maverick, 12-5, fighting out of Denver, Colorado, 26 years old. Let's cut to the chase here. I'm not a Maverick fan.
Yeah, she hasn't really shown up to, she hasn't really lived up to her true potential the way the MMA gods and the MMA media have been pumping her. So
for me, I know Andrea Lee, check it past. We won't discuss that. Questionable boyfriends. We won't discuss that.
All of them.
But also, she's a little on the older side, like I mentioned earlier, 35 years old. I'm going to pick her. I think she's a live dog here. Listen, I know she's a little bit long in the tooth. We just seen Maverick in her last fight beat the crap out of Cachoeira.
Everyone beats up Cachoeira.
Everybody beats the shit out of Cachoeira. She has no takedown D. Andrea Lee, I don't think she's the easiest to get down, but she can be taken down. That being said, I think she's the better striker. I think she's going to give problems to Maverick early. This fight probably has split decision written all over it. Give me the dog. I do not believe in Maverick. I don't think she's that good. Her stand-up is shit. She doesn't have enough power for her takedowns.
So you don't fear the Maverick, essentially.
I do not fear the Maverick.
Yeah, I'm with you on this dog shot, by the way. To all your points, but the striking, I think her wrestling defense is decent. She may get taken down, but she's, in my opinion, the far better grappler. She throws up submission attempts. She works to get back to her feet. She's on, I think, a 3-fight skid right now.
Yes.
But she shouldn't be because she beat Macy Barber, who I think beats Miranda Maverick as well. Not to do MMA math, but stylistically, I think she's fought better fighters and beaten better fighters and gotten robbed by better fighters. And now she's getting paired with Maverick. And it's like, I don't see it. I don't see it for Maverick yet. Maybe in a year or two, but we'll see. I think she might just be what she is at this point too. So undersized and in this division compared to some of the bigger girls, but I think Andrea Lee presents a lot of problems for her. Not sure if I'm gonna bet it, but I'm gonna lean and pick Andrea Lee for the win here.
Next fight on the prelims at welterweight, 170. We have the returning Val the Animal Woodburn going one-on-one with the Welsh gangster Oban Elliott. Woodburn 7-1, fighting out of Florida, hailing from Jamaica, 30 years old, going one-on-one with Oban, the Welsh gangster Elliott. Hailing from Wales, fighting out of Wales, 26 years old, 9-2 overall.
They ain't no gangsters in Wales. That's a big cap. Come on, bro.
Show me the gangsters.
Show me the gangsters in Wales.
Listen, this fight is the epitome of battle of the mid. Woodburn originally brought in because they needed a body for Bo. Bo's opponent, I think it was Trayshawn, and then they're falling out.
So Trace, Bozo, you mean? Bo's opponent was a bozo.
And what I learned from the Woodburn fight was absolutely nothing because he got waxed within 15 seconds of that fight.
Mr. Miyagi, that dude.
Bo Nickel didn't even have to grapple.
Yep.
Going back, watching footage on Woodburn.
Couldn't find much.
Couldn't find much. And from what I did find, listen, he's a big dude. Used to fight at all the way up at heavyweight. He's making his first official cut down to 170, so that's going to be pretty interesting because I think he was a little undersized even at 185. Still a big dude, muscular dude, hits hard, likes to cage push, likes to, maybe take you down a little bit. His main thing is ground and pound, beat you up. Oban, no stand-up, mediocre at best, excellent shooting. His shot selection is great. I think his game is put you on the ground, beat you up, sub. I'm going to lean Oban here, not with the most confidence. I think he's the better or the more polished fighter, but I wouldn't be surprised if Woodburn cleaned him out because he has no chin.
This line is crazy, and I agree with you. At minus 310 for Oban, especially a guy making his UFC debut
Don't like
against a brick shithouse used to play, fight at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he got knocked out by Bo Nickel, but it's Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel beats these guys at the same time.
100%.
You know,
2-on-1.
as terrible as that sounds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you on this. I think Oban's the lean, not with the most confidence. Probably not going to get a bet. I don't think I want to touch this fight. So we're just going to move on to the next one because I think any fight's more bettable than this one. This one might be 1-800-GAMBLERS, low-key.
Third fight on the prelims. Another fight at welterweight. We have the Bushido, Josh Quinlan, going one-on-one with left hand to God, Danny Barlow. Quinlan, 6-1 overall, fighting out of Nevada, 31 years old, going one-on-one with the undefeated left hand to God, Barlow. 7-0, fighting out of Tennessee, 28 years old. This fight probably has underwritten all over it, low-key. Quinlan, you know his thing. I mean, his highlight was sleeping overrated with Dusty Chin with when he fought actual competition.
Flowers.
Gave
him his flowers.
Struggled against Flowers, who was like 6'3".
Humongous for the division.
Super big for this division. Fighting another lankier dude in Danny Barlow, who's 6'2", who, in my opinion, has quick hands, hits hard, maybe a little bit sus on the takedown defense. That's probably Quinlan's only path to victory. But
can you bet on him to go to it? Not really.
Probably not. He struggled to get inside on Flowers because Flowers just was really good at, length management, distance management. Danny, I think, can do the same thing here.
He's more explosive, in my opinion, too, Danny. He's a more explosive athlete than Flowers.
100%.
So,
But I also think he's a little more raw than Flowers.
Correct.
So there is a path here for Quinlan, but I'm siding with Barlow here only because I think he's the more dynamic striker. He's the harder hitter. I think unders are probably the way to go in this fight. Somebody's going to get knocked the fuck out, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to lean left hand to God.
Yeah.
Because, I'm a church-going man.
Mano la izquierda. La Dios. That is hilarious. What a name. I mean, I have to pick him just on his nickname.
Listen, if this fight was based on nickname,
yeah.
10-7.
10-7. Not even 10-8.
Left hand to God. You can't stop that.
And by the way, his left hand is ridiculous. Like the Contender Series, he touched a gorilla and just murked him. He does it to everybody. Like his left hand is legit.
I do like Bushido as a nickname too, but
yeah, I like Quinlan too, by the way. But this guy is also, he's a jacked dude too, but he's also jacked because he probably is coming off a recent cycle of testosterone.
I mean, his nickname should probably be Ball because that's what he got caught for.
Correct. Yeah, he's loaded to yeah, he got suspended for it, guys. So he's jacked. But I just think that Barlow's gonna be able to keep him at range. He's 6'2", I think so. He's big for the weight class. And I think he's just going to be able to land that shot because Quinlan doesn't have the best striking defense either.
No, he definitely doesn't move his head as much as he needs to.
Correct. And this is not a guy who works for takedowns actively. He does, but when he gets hurt, when he needs to. You could get hurt once by Barlow and get put out. So Quinlan's tough. I one or two of those hammers, though, from the left hand of Thor, and it's over. So I'm rolling with Barlow here and probably by knockout.
Next fight on the prelims, light heavyweight. 2 debutantes. We got the Mountain Tiger, Mingyang Zhang, going one-on-one with the Gorilla, Brendson Ribeiro.
Gorillas versus Tigers.
This is just a straight zoo fight right here.
You know who beats both of them, right?
Who?
The Bear.
The Bear.
Also.
Well, I mean,
I'm on my Spanish shit today because of my shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you feeling it.
I'm feeling it, bro.
Isn't this guy who fought last week, wasn't his nickname the Bear?
I think so.
Even though he's got a deer on his chest?
Oh, yeah.
That man's
Yeah, he's confused,
too.
Man. He fears the Maverick. That's what got in his chest.
Zhang, 16-6, fighting out of China, hailing from China, 25 years old, going one-on-one with the Gorilla Ribeiro. 15-5, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 27 years old. So we got 2 guys here making their debuts. 2 guys, one from the road to UFC, who was a big underdog, won his fight, going against Ribeiro, who was on Dana White's Contender Series, another big underdog who won his fight. Zhang is the slight favorite here, and if you want a hot take after doing tape, I think he should be a bigger favorite. Zhang, I like his boxing.
His chin.
He's got one hell of a chin. I think he might be a little slower, and I don't think he's got the arm length. No, it's 75 to 81.
And he's slower because he's a guy that's moving down from heavyweight to light heavyweight.
Used to fight at heavyweight, going against Ribeiro, who he's got quick hands. He's got a decent jab, but he's got a very sus chin.
Correct.
At least more sus than Zhang, in my opinion.
And decent hands is being nice. He's all over the place when he throws punches.
Yes.
If we're being frank, you know, like he's raw. His talent, his ceiling's higher than Mingyang's.
I like his jab, but yeah, you're right. His overall striking not as clean as Zhang. Zhang's got clean boxing.
Yeah, clean. He knows how to angle. He throws elbows in between. Yeah, he's you know, I'm not saying these guys are world beaters. It's kind of battle to mid too.
This is low level, right?
Very low level, but I'm with you on Mingyang. I think Mingyang has the boxing capability. I think he's
got the cranium.
Yeah.
Could take a shot.
And, you know, he's only been stopped by big dudes, realistically. I think he got knocked out by that guy who was faking his record, but you want the real, that guy is explosive for at least 2 minutes. Very explosive.
Askarov. But he caught him early in his career.
Yeah, fifth fight in. You know, these guys are kind of journeymen, but if you're asking me, I'm going to go with the guy who has the better precision boxing and the better footwork, and it's Mingyang. Ribeiro's still raw. Very raw.
Next fight at the prelims. At bantamweight, we got the hybrid. Rinya Nakamura going one-on-one with Pequeño. Carlos Vera.
Little man.
Nakamura. Undefeated. 8-0. Fighting out of Japan, hailing from Japan, 28 years old, going on one-on-one with Pequeño, Carlos Vera. 11-3, fighting out of Ecuador. Actually, hailing from Ecuador, fighting out of Virginia. 36 years old. I don't think this was the original opponent for Nakamura. Carlos Vera, I think, is stepping in short notice. Carlos Vera, I think most known for losing to Bracatona on his first iteration of the Ultimate Fighter. Nakamura, listen, I'm not going to spend too much on this fight. Nakamura's like a minus 1,200. He's better everywhere.
Yes.
He's one of the few Asian prospects who is not only hot, but can wrestle. He's very
well-rounded.
Yes.
I got you. I got you, bro.
Nakamura.
You can't speak Spanish and English at the same time, bro. Trust me, I might fuck up too. You know
that's Spanglish. I wasn't even trying to speak Spanish. I was trying to just speak English.
Nah, I'm fucking you up with that Los Souls and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got this LWO shirt on with the flag on it.
Oh, yeah, you feeling it.
Yeah, I'm on it today, man. But I'm going to fuck up too just because of that shit. So, let's go.
Yeah, anyway, Nakamura, again, well-rounded. Excellent fighter. Carlos Vera, tough, durable guy. Doesn't get too many knockouts. His game is just straight ground submission, jiu-jitsu. That's what he wants to do. I think he's just being brought in, 36 years old. He's not really going to accomplish anything crazy. He could prolong this fight. This fight could probably go to decision because he's that durable. But I do think Nakamura, unlike his last fight against, Fernie Garcia. Fernie Garcia.
Yep.
I think he probably does try to get this done here inside the distance, in my opinion. I like Nakamura. The only way we really bet him is props. But, you know, that's all I really got for this one. Vera's just a body.
I agree.
They would have been packing them up.
Yeah, that's exactly what Nakamura is going to do. And we're not talking about Shinsuke from the WWE. We're talking about Ryu Nakamura in the UFC. And this dude is a hammer everywhere. He's good. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. His grappling is legit. He's going to be a top 15 fighter at some point in this division. Very athletic, built like he's shredded. Just a beast of a man. And I think he gets this done however he wants. So Nakamura, you know, and not Shinsuke. That's the bet. Inside the distance, by the way.
Next fight on the prelims at heavyweight. You thought we could escape these low-level heavyweight fights? Oh, no. We got Marcos Rogério de Lima, a.k.a. Pesao, going one-on-one with the bad man, Justin Tafa. Slobber knocker. This is right up my alley. Big, meaty men bumping meat.
Why you always got to go there?
I love it. Hey, yo, listen, I'm comfortable with my sexuality, boy. Hey, yo. We got Lima, 21-9-1. Hailing from Brazil, fighting out of Brazil, 38 years old. So that means 38. That means he's just in his prime in heavyweight. Going against the bad man, Justin Tafa, 7-3. Fighting out of Australia, hailing from Australia. A nice little ripe, 30 years old. Not going to spend too much fun on this fight either. This fight probably is going to not go the distance. I think for me personally, it's a bit of a coin flip. I think if I got your read down correctly, I think you like the Lima side.
Yes.
I do favor the Lima side. He does have technically more ways to win. But I don't know if I'm going to bet it, but I'm rooting for Justin Tafa here because when you reach, he teach. I want chaos. I want bloodbath. I want big sloppy heavyweights just throwing bombs.
Ever since he won you that bet, you haven't been off of him. He's been hot though too. Like who's beating him?
To be fair though, listen, he was fighting like Henry Hunsucker and all these, low level heavyweights. He also got knocked out by De Castro early on in his career. Yeah. Jorgen De Castro, aka one of the all-star John Jones training partners.
One of the team of killers. I've assembled a team of killers.
I favored Lima slightly. I do not like the fact that he's making kind of a quickish turnaround after quote unquote getting all his teeth loosened up in a pretty bad KO stoppage after he fought the Black Beast himself. So that kind of worries me a little bit because Tafa, prototypical Mark Hunt built. He's just a clone almost. Godlike left hand, probably has some dog shit defense, but hits hard. He's a tough dude. I'm rooting for Tafa. Don't know if I'm gonna bet it. I might bet the unders here. I don't think this fight goes the distance. It probably could, but it's probably because of Lima for the most part.
Yeah, not a big finisher. Not a big, yeah. I just see him chewing up this front leg of Tafa. He throws good leg kicks. And if he gets this fight to the floor, this fight's a wash.
Yes.
And which he can do because he can wrestle. His grappling is better. He's just a better fighter.
But if this fight makes it to round 2, I think Tafa's live, low key. Just a bit, because if Lima just doesn't take him down,
yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's just low IQ to me. You know
Correct.
What I'm saying?
He should just get him to the floor and smash him.
Yes.
That's probably why he took this fight with loose teeth.
I'm tired of eating out of straws, damn it. Next fight on the prelims. Currently constituted, it's the prelim main event. And this is where the card starts to get a little top heavy. We got Amanda Lemos. I don't know her nickname there. It says Amanda Ina. I don't know I guess that means little Amanda or some shit like that. Who knows?
She's not little at all.
No, she's not. Amanda Lemos going one-on-one with Mackenzie Dern. No nickname. Keeping it traditional. Lemos, 13-3-1. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 36 years old. Going one-on-one with Mackenzie Dern. Fighting out of L.A., hailing from the United States, but I think she's Brazilian.
By way of Brazil.
Yeah,
100%.
13-4 overall, 30 years old. All right. So me and my brother were in person when we seen
Jessica Andrade
dismantle Mackenzie. I personally, I don't remember if my brother did, but I know I had a bet on Dern. Man, I felt like a dumbass. She got rinsed in that fight.
And that was recently too. She got knocked out bad in that fight.
Yeah, and listen, this was a spot where I thought I could fade Amanda. I mean, not fade Amanda, fade
Andrade.
She
came ready. It was the first full camp she had in a while.
She came ready. That's my fault. I'm a sucker. I'm stupid. Should have never done that. Call me Hunsucker. Mm-hmm. This fight could play out the same way. It could. She's going against another badass striker. Probably hit one of the hardest hitting women in the strawweight division in Lemos. What gives me a little pause this time around is that I think Lemos could probably play around. I don't think her how do I explain this? I don't think her I think she's more than Andrade likely to play around
with the grappling.
And you don't want to do that with Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern,
the most accomplished female grappler ever.
One of the most dangerous jiu-jitsu players in the strawweight division.
Ever. And even the jiu-jitsu scene with people who just do jiu-jitsu. So
they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I don't know if this is going to be insanity. I am slightly leaning Dern here. I might get fucking rinsed again. I do not know. I don't know how I'm going to bet it. This is probably going to be like a prop bet for me. I think Lemos should probably get it done. She should just follow the Andrade blueprint. But I'm gonna buy a little bit of the dip here on Dern. Maybe I'm stupid.
Dern by submission.
Yeah,
that's it.
100%.
She's not knocking her out
because all she needs is one. One
opportunity. Yeah,
just one opportunity.
I'll play that with you if it's juicy enough. But you want the real? I think Amanda's gonna beat the fuck out of this girl.
Yeah,
she's stepping in late notice. Mm-hmm. This is supposed to be Tatiana Suarez, and this fight was gonna be a wash if it was Tatiana Suarez. So she's already been preparing for a girl that can wrestle and try to wrestle and then grapple.
Wait, it's Dern that's stepping in last minute?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of scares me a little bit, actually, now I think about it.
Yep. So, Tatiana was supposed to be the original opponent for Lemos. And so she's been preparing for a wrestler and a grappler the whole camp. Not at the grappler of the level of Mackenzie Dern, but what I will say is this girl's a bigger Jessica Andrade, and yes, she did lose to Jessica Andrade, but I think it was because the main event spotlight got to her a little bit because I think it was her first main event, and I also think that if you can't bully Lemos, you're not going to beat her. She has a good guillotine game too, and I don't see her subbing Mackenzie Dern. I think she was smart, just don't play around with it. But her guillotine is very strong. I could see her using the front headlock position to keep the fight standing and to, get position. She also hits hard. And if we're being honest, if she fought Jessica Andrade again, how does that fight look? I think she probably beats her. Andrade caught her in a standing arm triangle choke. Yeah, had an arm choke.
That's one of the sickest submissions I've seen.
Oh, dude, it was
time.
Crazy. I mean, and we played Jessica in that fight because the line was so disrespectful with a girl who could hit like her.
Yes.
So I think the lights got a little big. The lights did not get big for her against Zhang Weili, or Weili Zhang rather. She went out. She was willing to die in there if she had to win that fight. She did not give up. She was throwing up submissions all the way late. But once again, another girl that could bully her a little bit. I don't know if Mackenzie Dern has the physicality to bully this girl. I don't see it. She hasn't shown it. Her wrestling is not good. Zhang Weili's and Jessica Andrade's wrestling are both better than Mackenzie Dern's. So and the thing is, Jessica didn't have to take her down. So unless Mackenzie's pulling guard, if you're gonna bank on a girl pulling guard against a girl that's way stronger than her, I just don't see it. I think this line's at -135 right now on the sports book. I think I'm not saying I'm gonna put 2 units. I'm gonna really look at this, but Lemos should get this done handily. In my opinion.
I don't want to say handily, only because, again, I think Lemos, I think she's like I don't want to say, it's disrespectful to say like Walmart or dollar store version of Andrade, but if you look at their resumes, Andrade, way more accomplished, has fought the way better fighters. Lemos has got some decent wins, but then she's got some.
Lemos went 5 rounds with a girl that killed Jessica Andrade in the first round. And by the way, the current champion.
But she's also lost to Leslie Smith.
Yeah, but that was like when.
Amen.
When?
It's there.
Jessica Andrade lost to a whole bunch, a bum or two along the way.
All I need is Lemos to try to clinch Mackenzie Dern here and then fuck around. Yeah, she gonna jump.
She may not even play that game because I said her camp was geared to just avoiding the grappling exchanges with Tatiana. I agree with you. Just because of how the camp is probably geared, I just don't see her even playing that game. Thing is, she might play that game just because she's so much stronger than Mackenzie. But Mackenzie, like I said, she's made a living bullying fighters. Angela Hill, Tisha Torres, and I thought Tisha won that fight. So for me, it's like Mackenzie has no striking. Her striking shit. She just throws punches, hopes they land. She hits decently hard, but I just don't see how she's going to be able to get past Lemos in this fight. This is a little too much, and I don't like her with the quick turnaround after getting starched by another puncher 3 months ago. She got starched. She got knocked out like 4 times in that fight. It's crazy. I mean, like, I don't know who's advising her. Maybe she sees something, but good luck.
You're making some good points.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. This might be a bet to win 2 units.
I still might get Gilly, though.
We'll see. But yeah, enough of that. Lemos probably by knockout or inside the distance. If not, it goes to decision, but I think her money line's good enough to play, so Lemos.
All right, to kick off the main card at middleweight, we have Anthony Fluffy Hernandez going one-on-one with the no nickname Roman Kopylov. Fluffy, 11-2, fighting out of California, 30 years old, going one-on-one with Kopylov, fighting out of Russia, 12-2 overall, 32 years old. Kopylov wasn't the original opponent, right?
No, it was the dude who knocked out Kamzat. I can't remember his name. Oh, Kamzat knocked him out.
Aliskerov.
Yeah, that's the only guy that Aliskerov is only lost to Kamzat Chimaev. So,
pretty binary fight, in my opinion. Anthony Hernandez obviously wants this on the ground. Kopylov obviously wants this standing. To talk about Kopylov a little bit, I think he is he's a very well developed fighter. Considering when he first came in, I think he lost his first 2 fights in a row. Kind of wrote him off a little bit. Thought he was a little bit of a bum. Turns out, excellent striker. Been developing his game. Now I think he's a deadly striker. Still has a little bit of a problem, even though he hasn't been tested in a while, with takedowns. I think you can take this man down. Alba Darayev, prime example, was able to take him down. Josh Fremd, middle of the road fighter, not really too high on Josh Fremd, was able to take him down. Anthony Hernandez, another guy who was kind of easy to write off in the beginning of his career, has really developed into being this dynamic, aggressive, relentless grappler. I think Hernandez is probably one of the easiest plays on this card. The line personally got away from me. Can't touch the money line here, I think, in my opinion. Who knows? Maybe I just get a little gully. But I think Anthony Hernandez is the side here. I think he gets it done. I think this fight is probably inside the distance. I am worried about Hernandez's propensity to not enjoy body shots. If Kopylov gets him to the body early, I think he could probably get him out of there. Kopylov, again, excellent striker. But I think if Hernandez is able to get this fight to the ground, and I think he can get this fight to the ground, inside the distance, I think Hernandez is the side easily. I think this fight is open and closed pretty shut, I think. That's probably the easiest way to break this one down.
I agree. I think Anthony Hernandez, there's a good chance this fight is a grinded out fight, but there's a good chance Hernandez runs him over after the second round. I mean, if you've never seen Anthony Hernandez fight, it's like watching the Tasmanian devil like just run through a town like of people, and just tear down buildings along the way. You know, he does not get tired. He is like, he should be the poster boy for cardio. Like his cardio is crazy for someone that wrestles into you so much. Kopylov, when he did have his question mark, it's literally like it was with his wrestling. So he has shirted up, but against someone like this, it's such a dramatic jump up in competition. I don't know how he's going to keep him off of him. The money line did get away from us, because I was just looking at when this shit opened. It opened at minus 180, which was highway robbery in my opinion. Now it's a minus 258. I still might play him at that line, just because we'll see. I don't want to give any guarantees. At minus 180, he was an auto bet, but I just feel like,
I think even now at 250, I mean, I think it's still like a justified line, to be honest. I think he wins this fight at a high clip, in my opinion.
Correct. If they fought 10 times, he probably wins 8 times.
Yes.
Maybe 9. Like you always got to give the 1, right? Yeah. But 8 to 9 times, which is high. He should probably be a minus 400, if we're being honest. Minus 3, minus 400. So I think this line is playable. I don't like anything over minus 200. I don't like anything over minus 150, but I do think when you know kind of thing. So give me Hernandez, probably inside the distance. I want to do some more research before I give it up, but definitely follow us online and we'll give you our sure final bets on this. And we might post something early. So, yeah, Anthony Hernandez.
All right, next fight on the main card at 135, we have Merab, the Machine, Dvalishvili. I think I said that last name right. Going one-on-one with Triple C Henry Cejudo. Merab, 16-4, fighting out of Georgia. Well, hailing from Georgia, fighting out of New York. 33 years old. Going one-on-one with Triple C, hailing from the U.S., fighting out of Phoenix. 37 years old, 16-3 overall. Excellent fight. Listen, Cejudo, 3 years off, comes back, goes to a split decision with Aljamain Sterling. Some could argue he won that fight. I thought he won personally, after rewatching the fight, rounds 2 and 3 and 5.
Correct.
My opinion. Very close fight. Not mad that they gave it to Sterling at all. But
damage.
What that says to me is that maybe in a 3-round fight, he probably would have won that fight because he did win rounds 2 and 3. But it's a 5-round fight. You got to judge it a little differently. Cejudo, obviously not as
young as he once was.
Not as young. I don't think he's... I think prime is like the wrong word because I still think he's a high-level fighter. Going against Merab here. Merab, I think he's gonna be the minute winner for the most part. At least when it comes to the stand-up. Merab is gonna throw out a lot of volume. Punch, kick. He's not gonna really hurt nobody. That's not his game. His game is literally weaponizing pace, weaponizing pressure. He just wants to throw, grapple. I think he should be the favorite. He's been the more active fighter. He's going to be the minute winner, at least when it comes to the stand-up. Me and my brother were talking about this, going back and forth. I do think Merab probably wins this fight. But at the current line, Cejudo, I don't think he's out of this fight. And I think he can mitigate a lot of the wrestling. And I think if... Picturing this fight, I think Cejudo is proactive when it comes to the wrestling. I think he could mitigate a lot of the offense coming from Merab. I think this fight should be more closely lined.
It opened up as a pick'em.
Yes.
And, I didn't know how to play it because I'm like, both of these guys equally could win this fight.
And I get that. I get why people smash Merab. I get it.
Yeah.
But I think Cejudo is not out of this fight. And in a 3-round fight, in a 5-round fight, I think I probably favor Merab more.
I agree.
Because it's just relentless pace.
Correct.
And you see what he did to Peter Yan. I bet on Yan.
And Peter Yan took him down.
And not only did Peter Yan take him down, Merab didn't really have the greatest success taking him down. I think he only took him down like 7 times.
Correct.
Out of like 43 attempts or something like that. So 40 plus attempts.
Correct. He had a lot of cage control time, but and to jump in here, I think Cejudo is also good at that. Cejudo does a couple of things differently that Yan doesn't do. Cejudo pressures. That's one. Cejudo is good at getting you against the cage. And Cejudo's very strong with the body lock. He's also the better wrestler. He's better than Merab and Peter Yan.
Merab can't hold nobody down.
No. So if Peter Yan could take Merab down, I'm confident Cejudo could take him down. And if Cejudo wrestles into him, like Ricky Simone did, I could see him even gassing him out a little bit. And I wouldn't favor that to happen, but it could happen, especially late in the fight. But if Cejudo wrestles into him, he can steal 2 rounds here. So you're telling me you're going to give me the better wrestler at plus 180, a guy who knows how to work off the body lock, a guy who knows how to work better in the clinch. He's the cleaner striker if you want the real. He's the bigger puncher too. He could drop Merab, hurt him here. At plus 180, and the thing is, you can't say he's really inactive anymore. The only thing you could have some concerns about, I think he had surgery after the Sterling fight, but he also took 3 to 4 years off between the Sterling fight, I thought he won the fight too.
Yeah.
So you're telling me a 6-month turnaround with the better wrestler, who's gonna be faster in there, in my opinion too. I think he's faster than Merab because he is a 25er that's coming up to 35 essentially. I like Cejudo here, man, at plus 180, and I'm going to play him most likely. I'm probably going to put half a unit to maybe even a full unit because I think his chances of winning this fight are very likely.
And not only that, but like even like doing tape, just going back and doing some tape on Merab. I mean, obviously you've seen him. I mean, he did like, again, I bet Jan, that was like his coming out party. But when he fights guys, particularly like Cody Stamen, I want to circle here, and
Ricky Simone,
guys who can grapple
and wrestle into him.
When you take away one of his big components, those fights are close.
They're very close.
He lost to Simone. He beat Stamen. That Stamen fight on rewatch was a close fight. You can kind of argue Stamen a bit. I'd still give it a Merab again because he just throws so much volume.
Correct.
And I kind of worry about that for Cejudo.
You could argue he lost the Aldo fight.
Yeah.
And Aldo, like, Aldo was like, that was his last fight.
Yeah.
He's already thinking about retirement, so I'm with you. I'm with you on everything you're saying. Like, I just think this line's a little crazy for a guy who's the better wrestler. And they're going to say MMA wrestling. Dude, Cejudo, like, belly the back Aljo in a fight. And Aljo's no fucking joke on the mat.
No.
And he's bigger. Like, there's a lot of things. And the thing is, the success he didn't have against Aljo, I think he's going to have with Merab, because it's just so much harder wrestling a guy who's long, lanky, and big for that. Aljo's a natural 45er. He's fighting at 35. So I feel like, he's a tweener more. If there was a 40-pound division, he'd be a beast. But there's not. He's more on the bigger side than the smaller side. So I just think that Cejudo at plus 180 is absurd. And he's a gold medalist Olympic wrestler. You think Merab's going to do anything that he hasn't seen before?
No,
Aljo had the only time Aljo could really get him down was against the cage.
Yeah.
I think he took him down.
He kind of used his size too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like,
can he corner Cejudo is the question. And the thing is, Merab hasn't shown that he can ragdoll a guy that wrestles equally or better than him.
And Cejudo's got better footwork. I can see Cejudo kind of just like on the outside frustrating.
I don't even see that. I see Cejudo pressuring him.
I hope he does, because I think that's probably his best
way to win.
path. Yeah, 100%.
Best way to win. He's going to make him shoot. He's going to make him panic shoot. He's going to sprawl, get up, punch him in the face, and just pick him apart. And if he has to work on the outside, he can do that because he did the same thing against Marlon Moraes. And the thing is, Merab is just good at cornering people, but Cejudo has a decent gas tank, especially he won a 5-round fight after 4 years off. Now you're giving me a 3-round fight, and the UFC brass doesn't like this guy. So this is, in my opinion, not favorable matchmaking for Merab.
Yeah.
It's the toughest stylistic opponent that you can put in front of Merab.
Yeah. And like I said, the only thing I worry about is just the striking volume from the Merab side.
And Cejudo's age.
He should be the favorite, but like the line is a little out of control.
It's out of control. So I'm going to play Cejudo on principle here. I think he's an auto play.
Featured bout. Welterweight. Hands of Steel, Geoff Neal. Going against the corniest nickname in the world, the Future. Ian Machado Gary. Geoff Neal, 15-5, hailing from the U.S., fighting out of Dallas, Texas, 33 years old, going one-on-one with Ian Machado Gary, 13-0, perfect. Fighting out of Ireland, hailing from Ireland, 26 years old. Man, I don't like Machado. I don't like Ian Gary. I'm just going to throw it out there. I think I wish he developed his own personality and it wasn't just another McGregor clone. Personal life and personal shit aside, don't really want to bring it up.
You know.
If you know, you know. If you're on MMA Twitter, you know. I think he's a good fighter.
Reluctantly. Fuck.
Yeah, he is. I want to see him get fucking clapped up, slapped up. I wish Geoff Neal was the guy. I don't know if he's gonna be the guy. He's not as well-rounded. Ever since Geoff Neal had that, was it the surgery or the what was the
medical
incident?
situation? Yeah,
the medical situation with him. He's been more down than up, in my opinion. He's shown flashes of his former self. Listen, he's got hands of steel,
cracks,
mitts. Primary boxer. He will throw leg kicks. I don't like the myth or this thing that's going around that he doesn't really throw leg kicks.
He does.
He does throw leg kicks. He throws head kicks. He's a good striker. I think Ian Machado, unfortunately, has got him covered on that. I think Gary's probably just going to keep him at distance, poke him up. And then, mix it in. Probably some of the grappling, probably take him down. I think Ian, he reminds me a little bit of Adesanya in a thing where he talks about getting these finishes all the time and doesn't get these finishes. He's probably going to talk so much shit this week. I'm going to finish him in the first round. Blah, blah, blah.
Didn't finish a one-legged Neal Magny.
I'm McGregor. I think he does get the finish here. If the line is juicy enough, I'm probably going to bet it. But Gary's the side here. I want Geoff Neal to fucking smoke him. That would be so lovely. Gary's chin is sus, especially early. I think that's Geoff Neal's probably only path to victory if he gets him early when Gary's still trying to download. But the longer this fight goes, Machado's he's a builder. I think he's probably got him covered. And I think he's going to finish him. Yeah, just give me Gary here. Fuck. What about you?
Yeah, I'm playing Geoff Neal.
I don't want to play with my emotions, you know what I'm saying?
Ask me why I'm playing Geoff Neal.
Why are you playing Geoff Neal?
Because fuck him. Fuck this guy. I'm not, I got to get my GSP shit right here.
Go ahead.
Warm
it up, Ken.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfucker.
Oh, wrong one. Shit.
That was Nate.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
There you go. I'm not impressed by Ian Gary. I don't think he belongs in the talks with like a Shavkat Rakhmonov or a Khamzat Chimaev. I think he's like the third or fourth best heavy, welterweight, but I think Shavkat is just so much further along than him. I think he's just a little overrated. And I think, against popular belief, I do think he can be exploited in this fight for a couple of reasons. I think people are on Machado because he's been training down with Charles Oliveira's camp in Brazil, that he's gonna probably sub him. I think if the line's juicy enough, you play it. But if you want the real, I don't see him getting him to the floor. And I don't see him getting him to the floor because Shavkat is a much better wrestler. And Shavkat could not get Geoff Neal to the floor. That's one. Two, the one thing Geoff Neal, they talk about he's not fast, he's not lanky, he's not this, he's not that. He hurts you he's a pocket boxer, which I disagree with. I think he does some of his best work in the pocket, but the one thing that gets overlooked about Geoff Neal is his timing. He has very good timing with his shot selection. He knows where to hit you, how to hit you. He knows how to break your guard. He knows when to catch you in between your insteps. He's one of the best pure boxers in welterweight, probably in the UFC, to be frank. And I mean, this dude dumps, bro. This guy, Ian Gary, got dropped by Kanan Song. Yeah. And that guy would get murdered by Geoff Neal, to be frank with you. I just feel like Geoff has a lot more weapons in the toolbox on the stand-up. The fight gets interesting from range and how Geoff is going to clear that range and deal with Ian's leg kick.
Yeah, because historically he has struggled against bigger fighters.
Correct. And just people who can leg kick and keep him on the outside. I think Ian Gary probably should win this fight, but I think at plus 190 with a guy who's very difficult to take down, only been submitted twice, one of those by Shavkat Rakhmonov because he is very difficult to take down, and a guy who hits tremendously hard. And by the way, not just like a big overhand right puncher. Like this guy knows how to put his punches together and hit you with good combos. Goes to the body too and throws body kicks and leg kicks himself. I got to go with the dog shot here. And not only is it because of that breakdown, it's because fuck him.
Co-main event, middleweight, Robert, the Reaper, isn't it the Weeper? The Reaper, Whitaker, going one-on-one with the Eraser, Paulo Costa. Whitaker, 24-7, hailing from Australia, fighting out of Australia, 33 years old, going one-on-one with the Eraser, Paulo Costa, 14-2, hailing from Brazil, fighting out of Brazil, 32 years old. First and foremost, hopefully this fight is a thing.
Borchina might pull out.
Borchina might pull out. He might miss weight. and he might try to pull a Vittori and say, oh, well, that sounds like a you problem. Deal with it. You want to fight me, make the weight, or miss the weight. Well, they ended up fighting at light heavyweight, right?
Which is nuts, yeah.
Paulo Costa don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Whitaker, I think Whitaker probably wins this at a decent clip. I think he's just a better striker. What I am worried about is his chin, but that's like a historic thing with him. He gets rocked in a decent amount of his fights. He did get put out his last fight to Duplessis.
Who's the current champion.
But again, he is the current champion. So he's only lost to champions. Costa hasn't really lost to anybody disappointing either. He's lost to Vittori, perennial top 5 guy there, and Adesanya. Besides that, Paulo Costa, big, hulky dude. He's got power. I don't know if he's got knockout power, but he definitely has some power. There's 2 types of Costas that are out there. We have the Paulo Costa that can't finish Luke Rockhold, and we got the Paulo Costa who can go to absolute war with the likes of the Cuban. Yes.
The Cuban.
The Cuban. Yoel Romero.
Mi gente, baby. Mi gente.
Depending on which Paulo Costa shows up, it's probably going to be the Romero. I mean, not the Romero one, the Luke Rockhold one. He's probably not going to be able to get Whitaker out of there. I think, I just think Whitaker probably wins this fight
by decision.
If you're going to bet Costa and knockout, is his only way, I think.
His knockout's plus 440, but if you play his rounds 1, 2, and 3, it's plus 800, plus 1100, and plus 1800. Those lines are available.
I think it probably happens early. Costa's a notorious gas bag.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. Like, I don't like these descriptions of Paulo Costa. Pull out king, sure. He's never going to have kids because he stay pulling out of fights. But what I will say is
pull out king.
He's a pull out king. Pull out bed in your living room. You know what I'm saying? So I will say this. If Paulo Costa knocked out Robert Whitaker, would I be surprised? No. If this is a 5-round fight, I might favor Paulo more because he has more time to work.
I mean, listen, he probably could be catching Costa at a good time right now. I mean, not Costa.
Rob.
Sorry. Costa could be catching Rob at a good time right now.
I agree. Rob might be declining. And the thing is, he's like, Paulo's going to walk forward. He has good precision. He doesn't have style bender precision. He doesn't really throw hooks around the guard. Costa does have a good high guard, just like Duplessis. Built like a shit house. Pressure. And if you're telling me he can't rip him to the chin at least once, he definitely could catch him once with a big shot, drop him, hurt him, and then stop the fight. I don't want to say he's a live dog, but I will say that there's a possibility. The sun shines on the dog's ass sometimes. And if they fought 10 times, I'd say Rob beats him 6 times. I think there's like a 40% chance.
He beats him 7 times.
Yeah, I say a 30 to 40% chance. I'm doing the Scott Steiner math. A 30 to 40% chance that Paulo can beat him. And I say that because I'm not sure Rob's durability is there anymore. He gets hurt by everybody.
I was gonna say, especially at this point in his career right now.
Everybody hurts him. And it's those Yoel Romero fights took a lot out of him. I'm sorry, like he got knocked out like 4 times in that fight. I thought he lost the second one, just on damage. But what I will say is, I think Paulo is definitely live. You want to play Paulo, play the knockout, because he's not going to outpoint Rob. But Rob, if he gets hurt, it could get finished. So, only thing you can say about Paulo, not active enough.
No. Hopefully he makes the weight.
Hopefully he even shows up for the fight, to be frank. But if he shows up, the fight's going to be fucking entertaining.
Yes, there's no such thing as a boring Paulo Costa fight.
That's why the UFC still deals with him.
Yeah.
But I think he's very live. I don't want to say he's very live. He could be somewhat live. If this line gets more disrespectful, like he gets a plus 250 and those knockout props go up, I'm playing him. Just on principle. We picked him to beat Khamzat Chimaev. Yes. And you want the real? That was a good read. I think he does beat Khamzat. Khamzat's a 1-round fighter.
Yeah.
Paulo is going to deal with him for 1 round, and if he can even take Paulo down, because Paulo is a gorilla. Kamaru Usman's big. Paulo Costa's bigger. Like, that dude walks around at 225 come fight day. They should put a hydration clause in his fucking contract. Not in Ryan Garcia's, not in fucking Devin Haney's, none of that shit. This dude is on the secret juice. So, I got robbed by decision, but don't be surprised if I put down a play for Paulo via knockout.
UFC 298. Main event. for the UFC Featherweight Championship of the world. We had the defending, reigning champion, Alexander the Great, Volkanovski, going one-on-one with El Matador, the rising, hottest stud in the game, Ilia Topuria.
One of the best fights you could make on paper.
Man, excellent fight. Volkanovski, 23-6. Whoa, 26-3. The champion, fighting out of Australia, hailing from Australia, 35 years old. Going one-on-one with El Matador, Georgia/Spain's own Ilia Topuria, 14-0, perfect. 27 years old. Like my brother alluded to, probably not only one of the best fights you can make right now, is probably one of the best well-matched UFC championship fights in the past like 5 years, maybe.
It's amazing.
This fight is going to be sick. Topuria, Volkanovski, high-level fight, high IQ fight. I don't know which way to go here. I think, and I've been going back and forth on it, I've been leaning Topuria. My brother, spoiler alert, has been leaning Volk. I don't think either one of us are wrong. I think this fight probably goes to decision.
I like the overs in this fight as a bet.
I think when it comes, like, this is just going to be like just a high IQ chess match between two high-level guys who I think are pretty equal in terms of a lot of things, in terms of striking and grappling, and maybe not. Man, it's just tough. I'm leaning Topuria. I don't know how this fight plays out because it could play out a million different ways. Topuria always comes in with a strategy. Topuria has alluded to in interviews as recently as today, because I just was listening to some stuff my brother was putting on TV. He knows, and what I was worried about is Volkanovski's leg kicks. That was one thing I was worried about for the Topuria side. He knows that. He's acknowledged that out loud. I just think this is going to be a banger of a fight. I am worried about Topuria's cardio. If this fight gets prolonged, I think I do give Volkanovski the cardio edge. I don't know where to go with this. What about you? You talk me through this fight, brother.
Okay, so 2 myths to this fight. 2 myths.
2 myths.
Topuria doesn't throw kicks, and Topuria doesn't really wrestle. Very, very, very mythical creatures amongst like the MMA media this week, which I've noticed. You've noticed it.
Yes. I think the kick thing in particular, yeah, sure. You could say that all the way up until the Emmett fight.
And he threw a ton of leg kicks and took a ton of leg kicks.
Yes.
He's acknowledged how good Volkanovski is. I don't think he's overlooking him. They've been pretty friendly in the build-up with this, which I like. But he has also been very confident in carrying himself like a champion, which I really like.
Oozing confidence.
Oozing. And it's like he knows what's going to happen. Now, to be fair, Topuria, the best counter puncher that Volkanovski's fought in this division. The biggest puncher that he's probably fought in this division, to be frank, because he didn't fight Josh Emmett.
No.
Josh Emmett's the biggest puncher. I think Topuria's right behind him. Just Topuria sets it up with beautiful precision, knows how to roll with the punches, knows how to find openings, create openings, throw the hook around the guard, go to the body. The only thing I don't like about him sometimes, he kind of overextends sometimes, and he kind of finds himself against the cage. But what I will say is I do think that he is a very, very skilled fighter. If you're asking me, I think he's the better wrestler, and I think he's the better grappler. You know, he may not get subbed. Volkanovski's not getting subbed in this fight. But what I will say is if Topuria really wanted to get this fight to the floor, and he timed his shot well, he's going to get him to the floor.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
He's the bigger, more explosive, younger. He's the better athlete. He's, and the thing is, Volkanovski has a 2-inch reach advantage, but Topuria has a 1-inch height advantage, and I feel like he's going to do well against a guy who's a little shorter than him. The only guy that's hurt him is Jai Herbert. Jai Herbert hurt him in a fight, but Jai Herbert can hurt anybody in a fight, especially that fight. He was super sharp, threw the up kick in between one of Topuria's punches. You could even say he could say it was timed. You could say he just kind of threw the leg up, hope it landed, and caught Topuria on the chin, and then Topuria came back and took his soul in this next round.
I mean, listen, there's only one fighter who's taken a head kick here and recovered and won.
Yeah.
And there's another fighter who's taken a head kick, not recovered, and lost.
And
can you guess who that was?
Yeah. Topuria's a fucking dog.
Yes.
And I'm giving you all this stuff about Topuria, but it's going to lead into my points about Alexander. I think Topuria is undefeated. I know people are knocking his strength of schedule, but if we're being real, Bryce Mitchell, if I'm correct, was undefeated before he fought him. No one wanted to fight Bryce. Ryan Hall, undefeated before Topuria beat him. No one wanted to fight him. So I just think that, like, you know, these guys are overrated after the fact. They're not overrated. You know, when it, you know, at the highest level. Topuria exposes these guys. Now, fighting Volkanovski is a different puzzle, much different puzzle. But what I will say is this fight, in my opinion, is going to be dictated by two things: the jab and the leg kick. Volkanovski, probably the best leg kicker in this division. It's how he controlled Max. He also controlled Max with the jab. The problem is Volkanovski hasn't fought a guy that can jab, in my opinion, probably better than he does. And Topuria's jab does damage.
And also, it's just two different styles of boxing because Max Holloway is more of a attritional fighter. He just volume and
Correct.
Just beats you down. Where Topuria, especially on the inside, deadly, powerful. You could argue he's, again, the most powerful guy he's faced.
I think he is.
Striking wise.
You could say Yair, but that's with the kicks. Like, this guy hits you with his hands and he could knock you dead. And the thing is, especially with Volkanovski doing a quick turnaround, I know he's not looking at it like it's a big deal, but your body can only take so much sometimes damage within that period. And he got knocked out, what?
4 months ago.
4 months ago. And it was
a relatively quick turnaround.
It was a bad knockout.
And he took a head kick.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't, it does scare me a bit. If you want to bet Topuria, I understand you. But what I will say is Volkanovski, and by the way, here's the other thing, the stat for age. Typically, there's only 3 fights, if I'm correct, in UFC history, who were the champion after 35 years of age won. Amanda Nunes against Irina Aldana, Tyron Woodley against Damian Maia, and Tyron Woodley against Darren Till. The biggest anomaly there being the Darren Till fight. Darren Till getting very exposed, but Darren Till was under 30. Damian Maia was ancient. Irina Aldana was older as well.
Older fighters fighting older fighters.
Correct.
So, yeah.
So, what I will say is the stats are all on Topuria's side. Now, what I will say is I think Volkanovski, I think this line is a little disrespectful towards him. I think people are a little bit overreacting about the loss and how he lost to Islam.
I agree with that.
I think until someone shows me that they can mitigate his leg kicks and deal with his jab and his speed and his fight IQ, I think I gotta lean that guy until someone shows me otherwise, especially at this line. You're telling me you're giving me arguably the greatest featherweight of all time at this line. I think I have to take it on principle. I like the overs in this fight because if someone gets finished, it's probably going to be late unless Topuria catches him early. I don't see Volk beating him early. And like my brother said, I think that the cardio situation for Topuria is the only real issue I see with his game.
Yes.
That's it.
For me personally, I think if Topuria decides to grapple a lot, I think that's where he's going to get tired. I think if he's able to pace himself
and pick his shot selections, and then also pick his punches.
You seen in the Emmett fight, he didn't have no problems going 5 rounds, but he barely wrestled. It was a primarily striking fest where he mixed in the grappling in the 5th round. I do see this fight primarily just standing up for the most part because Volkanovski, hard to take down. Excellent takedown defense.
Was handling Islam in some of the grappling exchanges. And Islam's not even a 55 rated. He's a 70 pounder.
Yeah, let's
a
be
gorilla.
real. He's moving up soon.
He's a gorilla.
He can't make 155 anymore. Makhachev is a 170 pounder masquerading as a 155er.
This fight, literally, in my opinion, is literally going to come down to those 2 factors that I mentioned. This fight's going to come down to the jab and the leg kicks. Who can implement them? Who can deter them? And who can control the jab battle? The thing is, Topuria's jab is thudding. Like both his hands are very, like he hits very hard. I just don't know if he has it for Volk, at least not yet, because I think the striking defensive numbers are on Topuria's side, but he hasn't really fought guys that strike at a high level in the division.
No.
You know, like if he fought Yair Rodriguez, it might be a different story. And you know what's crazy? Like Topuria beats everyone in the top 5. I think he beats Ortega. I think he beats Yair. I think he also beats homeboy. What's his name? He beat Emmett. And then the other top 5 guy, whoever his name is.
I mean, you can argue Emmett was probably the most deadliest striker he's faced so far.
Correct.
And I mean, to his credit, Elliott. I mean, not Elliott.
Topuria.
No.
Emmett.
No, Josh Emmett. Yeah, there we go. Emmett. It's not like Emmett's some bum. Like people want to write that off.
Yeah.
But then literally, I think Emmett's next fight
killed Bryce Mitchell.
Separated Bryce Mitchell's body from his soul.
Yeah. You know when Doctor Strange touched Spider-Man to the body in No Way Home and he astral projected? That's exactly what happened to Bryce Mitchell. Motherfucker started twitching, bro. Like that's
rough.
That's the knockout of the year.
Yeah.
Arguably. One vicious. But what I will say is, yeah, I think Volk, it's such an evenly matched fight. If you want to play the dog, I don't blame you. I don't blame you because it's so close.
To be honest, if you wait on this, I could see the line flipping. So if you do want to get underdog odds on Volkanovski, I think you just wait. Because I think Topuria money has been pouring in. He's still currently the dog. He was a bigger dog, but now it's closer to pick him. I think there is a good possibility this line probably flips by fight time.
Correct. And to be fair, too, another reason to like Topuria even more, the last time he's fought a big puncher, Volkanovski, it was like Chad Mendes. And Chad put him on his ass, and Chad wasn't active.
Yes.
So
Chad was able to take him down as well.
Correct. And Topuria is a better puncher. He's just a more precise puncher.
Oh, way better
it's
boxer.
It's not
way
even
better
close.
Striker.
And explosive.
Yes.
So I understand. Listen, I might change my mind come fight time. I might be picking Topuria, but at this moment in time, I'm picking Volkanovski because until someone takes it away from him in this division, I don't see it. He's never lost at this division. His 3 losses are 2 at lightweight and 1 at welterweight. I mean, against bigger guys.
Yes.
You know, and I think he wants to silence a lot of the doubters this week. And I think at this line, you have to play him, but we'll see what happens as I approach closer to the fight. And that just about wraps it up for episode 43 of the Access to Combat podcast. You already know the deal. Who go the boss? Who go got next? Like, follow, subscribe, comment, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Your boy Boogie. Y'all enjoying the visuals on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. And for all of our Latinos out there, especially Topuria fighting out this weekend, even though he's more of a Spaniard as opposed to a Latino or Hispanic, we get it. You know, we all, you know, on the guy, we all human beings. You know what I'm saying? So we're rolling with that shit.
Wow.
But bro, you know, hold it down. Latino World Order in the house, baby. You already know. Take it easy, guys. See you next time. And we'll keep you posted, and hopefully we make you guys some money this weekend. Actually, not hopefully. We will. We will. Love you guys. Holla at you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Holla at ya. Later. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys.